Hi, my name is Susie Hernandez, and this is my 3-point story. This first story is going to be about how I got my first job. It was towards the end of freshman year, and I had realized that summer was approaching, and that I was going to have way too much free time and not enough things to do with it. So I decided to apply at Subway. It was a 5-minute drive from my house. I already had a friend there who said that it was a super easy and fun job, and that I should apply. So I did. They had called me back to an interview a week later, and I was so nervous. Freshman me had never applied to a job, had never been to an interview, did not know what an interview partook of. So I was stressed, I was nervous, and I was scared. When I walked in those front doors, I felt like I was shaking. But once I sat down with the manager, I was not asked more than one question. The only question she asked me is, "What size shirt are you?" I had already been hired before I even walked in those doors. That interview only partook of her asking me what size shirt I was and telling me what I needed to wear to work and what I needed to do with my hair and what her expectations were for me. And it was the easiest interview I have ever had, and I have been at that job ever since, and it's just one of the best decisions I have made. I have made so many friends and connections through that job, and I just couldn't see myself where I am without it. So my second story is about how I started going to the church I have continued to go to since second grade. So in second grade, there was this one girl that I found to be the most annoying, rudest, and meanest girl I had ever met. I had formed this opinion of this girl from what other people had told me. I had barely ever spoken to this girl, and I had already formed this horrible opinion about her. And one day I was on the playground and she was walking up to me. This girl that I had thought was so mean and so rude was walking up to me. I didn't know what to expect. Little did I know she was going to invite me to her church's Awana. And I was in complete shock. And I didn't know what to think. And I didn't even know what Awana was at the time. So I asked her, and she told me that it was a children's ministry at her church where children come in and they do Bible verses and just remember them and recite them to a leader, and they just have games and snacks and just have a good time. So it took about 2 weeks after she had invited me the first time. She kept on inviting me, and finally I decided to go. My mom took me, and ever since that first day I continued to go. I really had enjoyed it, and I just formed a church family there ever since. And those are some of the people I am closest with, and I just cannot see my life without them. And that is how I formed my church family. And this third story is going to be about how I started playing basketball. I had actually been going to this church, like I said, ever since second grade. And it was about 7th grade. And everyone in my youth group, at this point, I wasn't in Awana anymore. I was in the youth group. At this point, I had been in 7th grade and just been in the youth group for a year now. And everyone in my grade and older than me, they all played basketball for my church. I was pretty much the only one who didn't. They were like, "Oh my gosh, Susie, you should totally sign up for basketball. You should come join us." Me, I have no experience playing basketball. I don't even know how it's played other than the fact that you have to shoot the ball in the hoop. And I was just like, "You guys are crazy. Why would I do this?" Little did I know they would convince me, and I would end up really enjoying basketball and actually being decent at it. And it's crazy to think that my church family helped influence my decision on how to playing basketball for them, and end up really enjoying it and it becoming one of my hobbies. But those are 3 interesting things about me.